Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in. We're going to be checking out the Surron Ultra Bee. This is the middle of the Surron lineup. Starting at the top, you have the Storm Bee. In the middle, you have the Ultra Bee. And then the smaller of the models, probably the most popular model, is the Surron Light Bee. So I actually purchased the Ultra Bee with the intention of using it like the Light Bee to ride around town with that extra power. This thing is pushing 12.5 kilowatts, so a significant power boost from the Surron Light Bee. And this thing is an absolute beast. Its top speed is about 56 miles per hour, and the Ultra Bee is significantly bigger than the Light Bee. So using this around town for under the radar riding just isn't going to cut it on this bike. Now, as far as the quality goes, this thing is absolutely insane. The quality is fantastic. They did a really good job with this bike. Very well made. And if you take a look, this is actually the road legal version, and you cannot get these in the States. You have to order them from overseas. The only one you can get in the US is the off-road version. But guys, I can get you a super great deal on this bike for $5,700. As I was saying, you have the turn signals in the back with the license plate holder, which is pretty neat. The US version does not have that. It is off-road only, so you do not get the lights or the turn signals. The tires are a bit on the small side for this bike. You have a lot of people upgrading the tires. The brakes are actually dirt bike grade, so these are pretty heavy duty. You definitely need these to stop this bike. This bike weighs just under 190 pounds, and going 56 miles per hour, you want to make sure you have really good brakes, which this thing does. Also, on the road legal version, you do have these pegs here for a passenger. These do not come on the US version. We definitely love the plastics that come on this bike. You have a really nice, long, comfortable seat, which will definitely fit a passenger on the back, which is why these pegs come in handy. You have a 74-volt, 55 amp hour battery on the Surron Ultra Bee. It weighs 45 pounds, but you can remove the battery if you want to bring it in to charge. Just keep in mind it is pretty heavy at 45 pounds. Charge times with the stock charger is about 4 hours from 0 to 100. You do get a heavy duty fork on the Ultra Bee. These are dirt bike grade, and these are made by KKE, which is a really decent stock fork. Got a really nice headlight, and there are your front turn signals. You do get some nice hand protectors. You do have a USB charging port on the Ultra Bee, similar to what you have on the Light Bee. Now you have full adjustability on these forks. We'll take a look at the handlebars. Pretty heavy duty handlebar, unlike the Light Bee. You do get some nice Sur-ron grips. You have your left brake control. You do have engine braking and also a brake regen on the Ultra Bee. You have your headlight switch here. I believe this is an emergency blinker. You also have your turn signals here. And down here, you have your horn button. You also have your R and S button. On the back, you do have an ASR trigger and also a trigger for the high beam. As we were saying, you have a very nice handlebar. This thing will take a beating. Definitely like how it mounts on here. Very sturdy, very solid. There you have your display. We'll come back to that in a second. On the right-hand side, you have your right brake, your kill switch. I'm not sure if you can see that, but this is your drive mode switch. You have sport, eco, and daily. And you control that by this little switch here. On the right-hand side, you do have a full twist throttle. Definitely like the feel of the throttle. And you also have these mounts for mirrors, which do come with the bike. All right, so back to the display. Take your key, turn it on. Your display will light up. Get a lot of useful information here. You got the time, your battery percentage. This is your gearing. You can change that in the settings. This is our top speed of 55 miles per hour, your tripometer, and a couple other useful pieces of information. You do also get a battery percentage here. So very nice display on the Ultra Bee, very useful information. So you can change a lot of settings in the menu. So check out the manual so you can change those settings to your liking. So guys, if you're getting this bike to fly underneath the radar like people do on the Light Bee, this is not the bike to get. This is a very large bike compared to the Light Bee. You do get 12.5 kilowatts of power, which is insane. But honestly, it's just too big of a bike to fly under the radar. It looks too much like a motorcycle or dirt bike. What we're going to do is we're going to hop on the bike and give you our first impressions. So let's get on and see what it can do. All right, so we're on the Surron Ultra Bee, and this thing immediately feels awesome. It's very large, especially for my 6'2", 260-pound frame. And the brakes are phenomenal. It has engine braking and also regen braking, which is really nice. We have it in sport mode now. Let's see what we can do for top speed here. Alright, so we just hit 55 miles per hour. And make sure we stopped at the end here. We'll do another top speed test here, and this bike feels really, really nice. Alright, so here we go. We'll do a top speed test. Sport mode. The front wheel just went up too, so this thing's got crazy power. Alright, so 55 is our top speed. That's enough. Like I said, when we were starting to go there, the front wheel was off the ground. And what we're going to do is we're going to put this in Eco, see what it feels like. Alright, so we're getting about 33 miles per hour in Eco mode. Eco mode feels about the same, maybe a little bit more powerful than the Light Bee X, but you're going to get the most range out of the bike using Eco mode, and it's definitely not slow. What we're going to do is we're going to pump it up to a daily mode. That's what we do in daily mode. Alright, so a lot more torque. Feels pretty similar to sport mode, just not as snappy. So about 54, 55 miles per hour, so it doesn't cap your top speed. It just takes a little longer getting there. And like I said, not as snappy, so this is going to be your daily riding mode. If you're riding in the street or small trails, and it's not going to suck up a lot of battery like sport will, because this bike is just sick. It feels really nice. Suspension is very nice. Definitely loving the riding position. The bars are wide enough. Everything about this bike screams quality. I'm going to put this into sport. Yeah, much more snappy. But again, you're going to burn a lot more battery, a lot more juice on sport. So you might as well, if you're looking to get the most range out of the bike and go 50, 55 miles per hour, daily mode is going to be where you're going to want it. What we'll do is we'll switch back down to daily. Now compared to the Light Bee X, like you said, this is a lot bigger bike. So if you're looking to fly under the radar like myself, I bought the Ultra Bee, which is pushing 12.5 kilowatts compared to the Light Bee X, which is pushing just 6 kilowatts of power. You're going to be disappointed because this bike is much bigger, much harder to pass off as an e-bike. This is certainly a dirt bike or a motorcycle. Yes, you can do things like remove the front fender, which may make it a little less of a dirt bike looking bike, but you know, the frame is so much bigger. It's just targeting a totally different audience. Got hills, no problem with hills. Again, this is a 74 volt e-bike or 74 volt dirt bike. 55 amp hours of battery. So that's going to be your range. And the battery is pretty large. It weighs 45 pounds. And they say you can get just under 90 miles of range. And that's probably on eco mode. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to take it into our field here. Curb is no problem. Definitely not going to have the problems that most of the e-bikes that we test out over here will have. Yeah, this is absolutely no problem. This is light riding for this thing. I usually ride with the visor open because you can hear me a bit better, but the bugs just fly into your eyes. Got one back there, so one downfall to open visor. Try to steer clear of the water. So there is the Surron Ultra Bee. This is the road legal version, whatever you need to be a street legal. Got the nice dark green color. And guys, again, I can get this bike for you for $5,700. So hit up my email that's in my YouTube description and I will hook that up for you. Guys, super nice bike. Don't forget, when you do start this bike, there is a ready button and it's right here. So it's a little trigger on the right hand side. If you hit that, you get your ready symbol there and you're ready to ride. Guys, ultimately, I will be selling this bike just because of the fact that I want that under the radar e-bike that I can cruise throughout town and not really have anybody looking at me, especially cops. But if I had more places to ride around here, there were more trails in the woods, things like that, I definitely, without hesitation, keep this bike. But guys, this bike is one hell of a deal, especially for $5,700. I will hook you up. Shoot me an email with the email in the description, and I'll put you in contact with my source, and we'll get you an Ultra Bee for $5,700. You know, when I first got the bike, I was thinking I was gonna make it street legal with the pedals, things like that. And then when I saw the size, I'm like, there's no way I am putting pedals on this bike. There's no way any cop will think this is an actual e-bike, or any bike for that matter, with pedals. There's no way you're gonna get around that loophole. But again, this bike is not for that reason. That's why they do have the Light EX. For that reason only. Travel around town, be able to ride on the streets, and you slap pedals on that, you take the front fender off, and that looks like a mountain bike. So, this, not so much. Want to be careful out here because there's a lot of people that walk the dogs and stuff. Technically, you shouldn't be riding in here. But it's a very smooth ride, guys. Very smooth. Now, the only thing I've really seen people recommend is to get better tires on here, as a lot of people don't really care for the stock tires. I don't really mind them. I don't think they're terrible. A lot of bears over here too. Watch out for those.
Alright guys, but that's about it on the Ultra Bee. If you guys have any questions, concerns, or want to see other videos with this bike, please let us know in the comment section below. We do get back to everybody. And until next time, thanks for watching. We appreciate you. Peace out.